everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Courtney with Southern Owls, and this is the how-to tutorial for this super cute gingerbread themed wreath. So this is a kit that is available, maybe available, hopefully still, maybe a kit or two left, on my website, theSouthernOwls.com. If you didn't grab this kit, no worries. I'm releasing kits, more kits to come, so don't you worry. So this kit comes with your 21-inch deco mesh, your 10-inch deco mesh, your ribbon tails, extra ribbon for your bow, cable ties, pipe cleaners, a piece of wire to hang, and of course our adorable Gingy sign. So let's get rolling. I already kind of preset my work form. We're going to move all this ribbon out of the way because we all know Courtney gets crazy and stuff starts flying. Okay, so we're going to grab our 21-inch mesh. I like to fold mine in half and then gather it at the top with my hands to get it started. And I always like to start at the top. So I'm going to place that mesh right in one of the top twisty ties. Okay, we're going to do that 10-inch poof method. So we're going to slide our hand down the mesh about 10 inches. And then we're going to find the next tinsel tie and just place that mesh right into that tinsel tie. And we're going to keep on going. You're going to want to make sure that when you are placing this mesh in the tinsel ties, that you are giving the tinsel ties really good snug twist, because you do not want your mesh shifting later on, right? So we're just sliding down the mesh with our hand. Measuring, I'm using my measuring mat to measure about 10 inches, and I am just putting it right in to that next twisty tie, not skipping any twisty ties, just going one to the next. And this is called the poof method. So we're going to do all the top. So there's 8 twisty ties on top. And then there's 10 on the bottom. So now we are done with the top. We got all of our 8 poofs up top. So now I'm going to find the nearest twist tie and just string it right down below. And then give it a twist. Twist it in. So now we're going to do that same 10-inch poof method. Okay. 10-inch slide, measure 10 inches, and we're going to do the same exact thing that we did on top. And we're going to go to the next tinsel tie. I always like to work top from bottom, but if you like bottom to top, that is a-okay also. Do whatever you're comfortable with and whatever you're used to. These are just guidelines to help you on your wreath. How's everyone doing today? Do you like this kit? I love Gingy, so I hope you enjoy this kit. Super, super cute. I love Gingies. I'm actually thinking, I don't know. So I was saying farmhouse. So my main tree, let's talk trees. My main tree was farmhouse gnomes, but I feel like gnomes are kind of like not that popular anymore. So it's time to change. And I was thinking Santa farmhouse, but I don't know. I'm just really loving everything gingerbread this year. So I might do a complete 180, get rid of the farmhouse, and do gingerbreads. What theme do you decorate your house in? Drop it in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Okay, so we're just still keeping up with those 10-inch poofs. We're almost done, making sure that those twisties are going, right? And that we're twisting them nice and tight so our mesh won't slide out of it later. and kind of just like forcefully go in there with it. Definitely use my Hulk muscles. Okay, we made it all the way around. Twist it right back in and snip it off. You're going to have a little bit of leftover, which you can use on your next project, which is great. Okay, so now your wreath form should look a little something like this. It's so beautiful already. Okay, let's put that off to the side. We're going to grab our 10-inch deco mesh border stripe. I am such a sucker for a really good border stripe mesh. I always like to put down something heavy so my mesh doesn't roll back. Okay, this end is not cute though. We're going to cut. Look at that. I just like chomped that. Okay. We are doing the whole roll 20-inch cuts. 20-inch cuts, the whole entire roll, y'all. So just keep on going. Keep on going. The cool thing about deco mesh is it was literally made for these work forms, right? So the work forms have 18 twisty ties, and your roll of 10-inch deco mesh has exactly 18 cuts if you cut them at 20 inches. Pretty genius. I love the border trim mesh because when we ruffle it into the wreath, oh my gosh, the border just pops and it's just absolutely stunning. So if you have purchased a kit, thank you so much for your order. I have 2 more Christmas kits to release this year, personally release this year, and that's going to be it for me. Next year, though, stay tuned. We are going to have tons of kits next year with Southern Owls. Everyday kits, spring kits, patriotic kit. So definitely make sure that you stay tuned and you're hanging out with me until next year. But yes, we have 2 more kits after this one. Now, if you have followed me for a while, you know I collaborate with TMI Gifts. So I will still be dropping kits with them monthly. It's just 1 kit per month. So if you missed out on my personal kits, you can go to tmigifts.com and they'll probably have a kit or 2 of mine still available that you can go snag. Okay, so now we're going to grab these pieces, and you see how like the mesh naturally rolls in on itself like a scroll? So I use that to my advantage. I love to use the table when I do my ruffles. So I flip it onto the table aggressively. I tuck it about an inch or 2. I find the middle. I give it a pinch. And then I unroll this part, right, with this hand and walk my fingers over to the other side. I still want to keep this side tucked under about an inch or 2 also. I like to do this so your ruffles, your mesh doesn't get snagged on anything. So those are nice and tucked underneath your wreath. So hopefully it will help prevent your mesh from fraying over time. So we are going to grab our work form and just find any open twisty tie and lay that in right in the middle and then give it a twist. And I do it long ways in between the poofs. You see what I mean by that border just pops out? It's absolutely adorable. So we're going to still just do that ruffle method where I like to flip it out on the table, tuck it about an inch or 2 underneath itself. You're going to find the middle, give it a pinch, walk your fingers over to the other side, and you're going to make sure that other side is also tucked about an inch or 2. And you really want to stay in the middle when you're walking your fingers over. It's important because that's going to make your ruffles look uniform. Now, there are really cool mesh tools out there now. So if this hurts your hands and you can't grip it very well, hard-working mom. She's over here on YouTube as well, friends. She has this really cool wooden mechanism to help you ruffle your mesh. It's really, really cool. Okay. Couple more ruffles for the top layer. Also remember, friends, I've had a couple of these comments, okay? I have made many, many wreaths, okay? Many, many wreaths in 4 years. Probably, I'm not even kidding, probably 1,000. So if you are like, man, my ruffle is just not looking like Courtney's, it's because I've had a lot of practice, friends. I've had a lot of practice. I'm in year 4 of wreath making. So just, don't be hard on yourself. It just takes practice. Let me tell you, my first couple wreaths were not anything to brag about. So it just takes time and patience, repetition, doing it over and over and over and over again to really get that muscle memory going also in your fingers, right? So don't be discouraged just because I whip them out super, super fast, okay? Don't get discouraged. Okay, so we're done with the top, and now we're moving on to the bottom. And we're doing the same exact ruffle method onto the bottom and the same long ways, putting them in between the poofs. Oh my gosh, I seriously love a good border mesh. It's one of my favorites because I just love how like flirty and whimsy it is coming out of the wreath. It really just adds a lot of texture to your wreath and dimension with that double color. It's beautiful. Where is everyone watching from today? I always love to know where everyone's watching from. If you're new, welcome. I'm in the Houston, Texas area. I live in a very small town outside of Houston. So I'm gonna claim Houston because no one's heard of my town. Even if you live in Houston and I'm like, oh, I live here, they're like, what? Where's that? Where's that? So I just claim Houston. All right, so we're just ruffling this in, not skipping any twisty ties, and going in between our poofs long ways. This is stunning. Look how that is, oh my goodness, turning out. That is so stunning. I feel like this wreath base like screams Christmas. Screams Christmas. I have a Band-Aid on if you haven't noticed, and I'm trying not to get it stuck in the mesh. I didn't really think about it because it is like a cotton Band-Aid. I should have put a plastic one on because this bad boy is getting stuck in my mesh. It's okay. It's all gravy. I am obsessed with this guy named Logan on TikTok. And he makes all of these cucumber recipes, right? And I've been a fanatic. I've been buying cucumbers, I've been shredding them, and that's what happened. I was shredding my cucumber and I went a little too crazy and I shredded the top of my finger. Oh, I can laugh now. It really hurt. It really, really hurt. But I'll be okay. I'll totally be okay. But I love cucumbers anyways. And so I've been loving trying all of his fun cucumber recipes. It's been fun. Okay, here's our last one. Beautiful. Look at that. That's beautiful, guys. You're doing such a good job. Such a good job, y'all. That just screams Christmas, and I am so here for it. Okay, next we're gonna grab our sign and our cable ties. Oh, I always like to kind of put these little tinsels up and ready because we're not done with the tinsel ties yet, so don't cut them. Don't cut off those tinsel ties just yet. Okay, so your sign will have little holes in it, and you're just gonna thread that pipe cleaner through. I like to do a single layer. I just feel like it's easier to go through the mesh. There we go. I go about 2 inches down the pipe cleaner and then just twist it on top of it. Oh my goodness, get in there. Get in there, little buddy. Sorry. I swear. The older I'm not even 40 yet, but I'm like, the older I get, I can't see, y'all. I'm gonna have to go to the eye doctor. I cannot see. And I'm like, when did this happen? Okay, here's our stinking adorable sign. Of course, they're from my favorite makers in the industry for signs, creekroad.net. So if you would like to purchase metal signs, that is where I always get mine. And this is a 10-inch. I love 10-inch signs. Okay, so I'm using this cool threading tool. It is called a plastic crochet needle. And I'm poking it through the mesh. We want to make sure that you're always going through the mesh so your sign sits on top of the mesh and doesn't sink down into your wreath. That was definitely like a rookie mistake for me, is when I first started making wreaths, I would move the mesh out of the way and then my signs would sink in there and I'm like, well, you can't even see it anymore. So that was definitely a game changer, is when I learned to put your pipe cleaners through the mesh and not around the mesh. Okay, so now that we have all of our pipe cleaners threaded, so I just take this and I wrap it around this wire form. Take the pipe cleaner and wrap it around the wire form, and we're going to go pretty tight with it. You don't want to go too tight, but you just want to make sure that that sign is going to be really nice and secure. I just go around a few times. We'll trim some off. At the end, you can clean up the back of your wreath with that extra pipe cleaner. Okay, so I go top to bottom normally. I don't know. Sometimes I go around and around. Today we're going to go top to bottom. Making sure it's nice and tight. Not too tight, but you know what I mean, guys. You don't want that sign sliding around. And I go around about 2 or 3 times. This wreath is adorable. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay, now, come on, y'all. That's stinking adorbs. Look how pretty that is with that mesh. What do y'all think so far? Are you happy with it? Okay, I'm going to grab all of the ribbon. All of the ribbon that comes in your kit is pre-cut. So the longer pieces of ribbon are for your bow. So we're going to start off with these longer pieces. You're going to grab your cable tie and a pipe cleaner. And we are going to start off with this candy cane beautiful ribbon. It's a 2.5 inch. Okay. And we're going to do an 8-inch tail. So we're going to measure out 8 inches, give it a pinch, and then we're going to measure out 10 inches, which is going to give us 5-inch loops. So we're going to marry them together, right? 10 inches, bring it around, twist that ribbon. You're going to have a little extra. I just wanted to make sure that y'all had enough ribbon, but we'll cut it to size in just a little bit. Just wanted to make sure y'all had enough. Okay, so this is directional ribbon. So I'm going to pinch it and place it right underneath my thumb. And we're going to cut a 8-inch tail. Okay. Then we're going to pinch it again and place it underneath our thumb and do our loops. So we're going to measure out 10 inches, which is going to be that 5-inch loop again. And I just kind of start forming an X pattern. So you'll have 2 tails for the gingy, 2 tails for the peppermint, okay? And you should have 4 5-inch loops, okay? And I always hold everything in between my thumb and my pointer finger. So now we're going to switch up and do the skinnier 1.5-inch ribbon. Same thing, measure about 8 inches. Place it right on top. And then we're going to measure we're going to measure 9. So we're going to do a 4.5-inch loops, okay? And then this will have a little extra too. And then we're going to do 8-inch tail. And then we're going to take this super fun glittery snowflake ribbon. And we're going to do that 8-inch and just lift it right under, place it right underneath your thumb. Flip it to the opposite side, right? Upside down. And then just flip it around your thumb. And that's going to do that racetrack loop. And then this part, I always say you measure how big you want your racetrack loop, okay? I think that's a pretty good size for me. I'm liking that. So I'm going to cut off that extra. And once again, I left you a couple inches if you want a big loopy center. So I'm always going to leave y'all a little bit of extra just to wiggle room. Okay, you're going to grab your cable tie. And where you're holding it, you're going to loop that cable tie around and start it. But don't finish it. We got to thread that pipe cleaner through first. And then make it really nice and tight. And then you're going to take your nippers and cut that extra off. So now we have our beautiful, beautiful bow. That's stunning. That's stunning. So whimsy and so fun. So now we're going to fold our ribbon tails in half and cut up at an angle. Now you can also do a diagonal cut if you want. I like dovetail. So 9 out of 10. Actually, I'm going to say 99 out of 10 times. You're going to see me dovetail. Every once in a while, if I'm using like designer ribbon, I'll fold it and glue it, make it all gorgeous. But very rare occasions that I use designer ribbon. Okay, here we go. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to grab our wreath, and I'm going to put my bow at the bottom. Oh, where's my threading needle? I'm going to use this threading needle again. And once again, remember, we're going to go through the mesh, not around it. So our bow doesn't sink down into our wreath. Oop. My Band-Aid keeps on getting stuck, y'all. Man, that Logan and his cucumbers, his cucumber recipes. Okay, we're gonna make sure that our pipe cleaners are going around the bars of our frame. Okay, and then just twist, twist, twist. And now we get to fluff out our bow a little bit. Okie dokie. That's so cute. What do you think so far? So far, so good? Let's move on to our ribbon tails. So in your kit, you'll have the beautiful glittery snowflakes with the glittery Candy King stripes. Mimics our mesh. And we're going to have our beautiful gingies with the polka dot stripes, which is such fun ribbon. So we're going to start off with that twisty tie right next to our bow. And we're going to start off with one gingerbread, okay, and one polka dot. So I always like to lay my ribbons on top of each other, the 2.5 on the bottom and then the 1.5 on top. You're going to find the middle. I always give it a pinch. You can fold it in half also. And then we're just going to lay that ribbon right down into those twisty ties. Okay. On the top layer, I like to kind of spread my ribbon and make basically an X. So you can really see the layers of the ribbon. So you can see both sides of the ribbon. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful ribbon. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next twisty tie right next to it, and we're going to grab the peppermint stripe with the beautiful snowflakes. Find the middle, give it a pinch, and then put that right down into those twisty ties. Okay, and same thing. Just going to kind of spread those ribbon tails apart and make an X going in opposite directions, right, on a diagonal. Beautiful. Okay, you got it. You got this. We're going to keep on going. So the next one's going to be Gingy with the polka dots. Oh gosh, guys, too, also in your kits, your tails are not dovetailed. So you're going to have to dovetail your ribbon tails or cut them at an angle. That's why I leave them alone, because some people like the angle cut and some people like the dovetail. So that's something that you get to decide on what you want to do. So make sure, I'm so sorry, I didn't say that. I dovetailed mine before the tutorial just for time purposes, because I know that's kind of time consuming. So I did that before. So my apologies for not saying something sooner. But yes, make sure that you dovetail your ribbons. And we're just sticking with that every other pattern. And then making those ribbon tails, just kind of spreading them out into an X pattern. So now we're done with our tinsel ties. So this is totally your choice. I love the tinsel ties. I think they're adorable. So I always leave my tinsels alone. But if they not your vibe, then this is the time that you can now nip them off with your nippers and just tuck them down into the wreath so you can't see them. I like them though. I think they're fun because they're like metallic-y, so I feel like it just gives like a cute little flair to the wreath. But I have had clients ask me to snip them off, and that's totally okay. It's their wreath, and I want to make sure that they're happy. Always want to make sure that the client's happy. Okay, last one on top. Put these twisty ties up out of the way. Cute. All of that ribbon and our bow. I'm not holding it straight. My apologies. Okay, let's do the bottom. So the bottom I do a little bit differently. I still layer them on top, and I find the middle and give it a pinch, but I leave them V'd on the bottom. I don't spread them out, but that is also, if you want to spread them out on the bottom, you can. I don't know, I like the V look coming on the second layer, the bottom layer. So that's another, your choice. If you want to spread your tails out in an X pattern, you can. Or if you want to leave them bead, you absolutely can as well. And we're just going to keep on going with that every other pattern. Right into those twist ties. Manipulating that ribbon how we want it to look. Don't be afraid to get your hands in there and move it around if it's not laying right. Arch it a little bit. I always like to kind of arch my ribbon. You'll see me take it and arch it out and down. Okay, y'all are doing great. We are almost done with this tutorial. Like I said before, if you missed out on this kit, I will be releasing 2 more Christmas kits on my personal website, theSouthernOwls.com. And if you miss out on Christmas, I will be making, I'm making all kinds of fun kits for next year. They're in the works. They are in the works for sure. Like fourth quarter for wreath makers get a little crazy, so I just wanted to get all of these kits out right before fourth quarter so I can really focus on designing for my clients and what they want and need. Did I lose a tail or did I not cut enough for the red and white? Oh my gosh, that's funny. This happened last time and it actually just like fell off the table. Okay, we'll cut one more. We'll cut one more. Oh my goodness. If you want to recreate this wreath also, like same pattern but just different elements, these ribbon tails are cut at 13 inches. Just so you know for the future, if you want to use this same pattern. Okay, let me dovetail these in. So you just fold in half and cut up at an angle and get our beautiful dovetails. And then the last one, I swear I cut enough. I bet you it fell off my table. I bet it did. And watch, I'm going to find it after this tutorial. So cute. I love it. It's adorable. So fun. So Christmassy. That's the edging. The bow. Super, super cute, friends. Super, super cute. Okay, friends. My little owlettes. I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. Oh, hold on. We gotta put our hanger on. So bend that wire. I almost left without the hanger. Find the top You just thread that through. I always use the top wire. I push my thumb, use my thumb and push those up as little hooks. And so now you have your little hanger. And of course, we'll come back and we'll cut those off with the nippers. Okay, now I'm gonna let y'all go, my little owlettes. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and this kit. Thank y'all so much for buying my kits too. Like, that means the world to me. It truly, truly does. I feel so blessed for all my little owlettes. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to craft with y'all again soon. Bye, everyone.